Smash Factor.
Ripping driver, going for it. Oh my goodness. How about that tee shot?
That is crazy how far that is.
Wow. John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
That's an aggressive line. Man, that is beyond long.
Look at this, he's just driven the green. He has just driven the green.
I guess hello world, huh?
Welcome everybody to the Smash Factor Mexico Open Week 26, 2021-2022 PGA Tour. Up here with you on a bright and early, super early Tuesday morning. This should drop probably well before lunch. Interesting week this week. I'm sure we'll hear. I can't wait to listen to digest all the podcasts this week. We have a course we've never seen. No one's ever played it as far as on the PGA Tour. A unique field, some unique pricing. We'll get into all that here shortly. Last week, man, it's just a weird deal again. This is kind of how I felt leading up to those few weeks before TPC, where process felt good, a lot of the right moves made, and you win back, on the big MMEs, I got 60%, 65% back. 1 to 3 max got crushed because of Neiman, too much there, had him in 2 of my 3. But I felt that same way, call it late January, and then kind of went on a run, and had a good little run leading up to the TPC. Still feel that same way. Like I'm not hating the process or where we're at. Showdown's still doing decent. I don't want to say it's a tough time of the year. There's definitely, especially if you're a content person that also does NFL, stuff like that, you roll straight into PGA. Really never stopped in the last 18, since the pandemic. It didn't feel like it really stopped hardly at all. And you kind of get to the Masters, which is, that's exhausting in itself. And then you kind of have this lull in the, Zurich, which is a team deal. Now this, which is a new tournament. It's not replacing the WGC Mexico. It's just a brand new in itself tournament. Craig Ranch is coming up, which is now hosting the Byron Nelson. Then we get the PGA Championship. You kind of roll through the summer. PGA, U.S. Open, British Open. So it's kind of a lull, but I feel like I've done well in some of these tournaments before. Last week it's always kind of a little bit of a crapshoot. So content's a little different. But this week's full tournament, full field. Well, not exactly a full field. I think we got, last I looked, I think it's 140 is what they'll have. So not a full 156. Had plenty of Cantley X. I kind of regret not betting them. I liked them a lot. Talked about that. They were in my top. They were top of my core play last week in the Glorious Nucleus. I didn't want to dip that low in the betting board. I rarely do. Had Willie Z and Riley. They kind of made a run. Redmond and Ryder had plenty of them, especially where they came in ownership wise. Only played 3 days of Showdown last week. Won 2 out of 3 days. One of the days I think I had 5x or so, 6x. So that helped cover mainly. I think all in I was down 8% on the week. So kind of grind through it, get through the next week and see what we can do there. Betting, I was light overall last week. Didn't do a lot of the matchup stuff. I don't, when it's that alternate shot, that kind of stuff where anything can happen unless I really like something. I kind of lay back and save it for stuff where we can see how people are playing, how they're getting to their numbers, especially matchups, stuff like that. Similar to Showdown, but and I was also busy. Had a lot going on. We had the tornado come through here, missed us, didn't hit us, but we did wind up having to basically take cover. So it was a crazy week, all in going some other stuff we had going on with the family, but this week's busy. I got a long day today, but the good thing is I'll be driving a lot, going to customers, stuff like that, and give me time to listen, kind of dissect everything, and then hammer through stuff tonight for you guys and tomorrow. Shout outs this week: the Percolator got second place on round 4, crushed it, $750 to him. Sean S. Dude's been grinding the Mini Max. He got a 4X this week. I love the process he's doing and sticking to it and keep grinding it. He's been close to shipping it a few times. DJ Uncut Raw, second in the Mayo. I'm sure he had that in some other things, so congrats to him. I saw him post that in the GC Warrior Room Slack Sunday night. And then JMac 1014 ships the round 3 showdown for $20K. I think it was 555 he played that day. Single bullet, so that's great for him on round 3. As always, you can join us. Smash 20% off. Any package includes a 7-day free trial. If you sign up for the monthly, that basically gets you 5 weeks, gets you through the PGA Championship, and lets you see what we got going on there. Rate and review us on iTunes. We'll be doing, I'll be doing giveaways for the PGA Championship. I do have the winners for the Masters. I held off announcing them with knowing last week was going to be super, a lot less people playing. And then I totally forgot. I didn't forget. I kind of had in my mind this was replacing the WGC Mexico originally, but it's just a brand new event, and the field's obviously super weak when we're related to OWGR standards. So I will get back. I'll have those winners for the PGA Championship. It's for the Masters drawing, but we're giving away some stuff for the PGA Championship next week. We'll have a lot more eyes with the Wells Fargo. Subscribe and like this video on YouTube. So rate and review us on iTunes, like I was just saying, and subscribe like on YouTube. These will all get you into the free drawings for the PGA Championship. We'll be doing stuff for that week, as it is here near my backyard, where both my kids were born, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, about 75 minutes away from me. So I plan on being there several days. In the video, tell me in the comment section who you want to play in the 9K range. I think that'll be a big decision this week. Listener League is in the description. We're back to 300 this week. Let's fill it up quick so we can have as big or bigger for the PGA Championship like we did for the Masters. Last week's winner, another shout out, Fantasy MD. He's been on a little bit of a heater this year. 701 points. Homa, Willie Z, Hatton, Bradley, Kisner, and Redmond, obviously with their teammates. Great lineup. He had another great, tremendous week all the way around with that lineup. So congrats to him. Keep that heater going. We are in Mexico, as I mentioned. Varante Valera, I can't say the last one. It's actually just right outside, about 45 minutes from where my wife's father's side of the family is born, in Guadalajara, Mexico. It's not too far from there. Par 71, 7,500 yards, 3 par 5s, 5 par 3s. You'll hear this. I mean, everything, a lot of people are going to source the same places we can. We don't have this information or have seen it in person, but it looks like wide fairways, large. The big notes I have, I'm sure Kenny Kim will break it down on their pod. I have not listened to any pods yet. Tuesday's always my day to do that, but wide fairways, large greens, past Palom, we know that's slower, kind of neutralizes the putting in some cases. Could see more 3-putts with it being big greens, but a higher green in regulation percentage. Got to keep it on the wind, but right now it doesn't look bad. Talk about that in a second. Since it was a resort course, obviously Greg Norman designed it. They've doubled the amount of bunkers, and they moved it from a par 73 to a par 71 once the tour got this tournament locked in. I believe it's a 3-year agreement, so we'll get to see at least the next 2 years. Should play harder than what it was originally intended for. But with the weather, it looks so perfect. 80 degrees, sunny, mild winds, 10 to 15 miles an hour. There is no elevation here, really. It's at sea level. So it is long for sure for a par 71. I think you'll hear like bombers. I get it, and it does make sense, and I'll have a factor of that. It won't be my end all be all this week, especially if it is the narrative. A lot of time those weeks don't work out because guys look at that as the end all be all at times, and I think it's a factor. But I still think guys can get there on longer courses in other ways, and we just don't know how it's going to play, right? Is it, everybody, it's hard to get to the par 5s. Par 4 is going to be really long. So you could be a good long iron player and be all right. Definitely length helps, but that's almost at any course that's going to be the case. I think the cut, just kind of looking around and where I'm using course comps and stuff, probably anywhere from -2 to -4, but I'm going to go -2, -3 range. And the winner, again, I think it'll be high teens, maybe clip into that low 20s, 19, 20 under, somewhere like that. Again, that's anecdotal, but just trying to use some of the leaderboards from the courses that I think feel like close to this. My stats I'm looking at this week, good approach, opportunities inside 18 feet, pure ball striking. I'll look at some driver distance, and I rarely do that, but I will pull it in just to kind of see. Birdie or better, and then par 5 DK scoring. And then obviously putting, recent form, no course history, but try to do some course comps. This is the first time the PGA has been at this course, so everybody is new. Salary ranges, 10K range, we got 5 guys. 9K range, we got 10 guys. 8K range, we got 10 guys. 7K range, 35 guys. 6K range, 78 guys. Sweet 16, to me, there'll be a lot of strategy this week, and that'll be kind of the key point. I think tomorrow's pod will be good to hone in on all that, especially once, diving into the content, the pods and all that, and kind of getting a glimpse where everybody's at. I'm assuming most people's decision will be ROM or no ROM. I was kind of hoping to be priced up higher just so you could have made a kind of more of an argument. But he is higher to the second highest by $900. So relative to the field, he's still up there, but theoretically you could have saw, especially with Berger being out, maybe he gets up to 11-8, close to 12. We haven't seen 12 in quite a while, but which probably makes it harder for some people. We'll get into that in just a second. 9K and above for me. Sweet 16, if you're new, I do 3 plays in each range plus a bubble boy. Fade of the week, sleeper of the week, some gut feel plays, top 5 and 2 long shots provided by Prize Picks. Then we kind of wrap it up. I'll come back tomorrow with deep dive, final thoughts, strategy talk, things like that on the podcast as well. 9K and above. I like Finau. I'll go there. The interesting part to me, I'll just kind of get the ROM, elephant in the room out of the deal, will be if he's going to be what I'll think he'll be, which is the number 1 owned guy and probably flirt with 30%-ish. And that's, the $15, the $20, the big $5 type stuff. Sometimes we hear guys 40%, 50%. He's not going to be that high. Not in those now, because then you'll see guys will post stuff, and saw a lot of it last week with the Zerg. Now some guys didn't comprehend that the two guys, you had to add up their teammates together, but yeah, in a $200 single entry, I could see ROM getting up, 5 to 8 basis points higher than a $15 or $20, or maybe if you play, not many people play in like the 3180 or something like that. Certainly that 1 to 3 max stuff, regardless of the price. Now price matters a little bit of the entry. People want to be safer up there. But I think a $20 3 max. Yeah. ROM's probably going to be a lot higher than say we got him 28 to 32% on my numbers type deal. But in that, when you got 90,000 lineups, 60,000 lineups being entered, man, probably 35% is about the highest I would see him in that the big MME type stuff. So that's the big decision there. Now, I like Finau because I don't think if you go wrong with that many percentages, you can't really drop to Finau and get real comfortable with your build. You could probably try, but most guys will drop. And the 9K range seems pretty juicy to an extent relative to the field. I always go back to that. There's a lot of sticker shock sometimes, and I've always told people, everybody knows my original, 7 years now I've been doing it, that my original stuff I build, I never really look at even the players, names and prices, because I don't want it to be anecdotal on my part. It's about, I want to see how the model puts it out, and then I adjust. And by the time I get to Wednesday night and put out the final thoughts and final rankings, now I've massaged everything, ownership, all that kind of stuff, and put some personal feel to it, for sure. I'm not an all analytical guy, and I'm not an all eyes guy, but putting some into it on that. And I just don't see how, I think Finau could be popular in the right scenario, but I just don't know how high he can get when ROM's going to be that high owned. I still think Answer gets some love. Naw and Reed probably, just anecdotally right now, I think would be super low owned. And because I think the 9K range will have some love. Woodland, Wise, those kind of guys, that the guys in that 10K range, if you're not going ROM, it's going to be hard for those guys to be owned. I think perception will be, Finau. But it's one of those when you start clicking the buttons and building, if you really want ROM, and I'll get to ROM here in a little bit, like you need to be getting just him is not going to be good enough this week as far as levers being on it, unless you get really weird. And so it'll make it hard to get those guys in and get them in the correct percentage that you want to be in. So I like Finau this week. I actually don't mind fading the whole 10K range if you want to do that. I think you could do that in certain builds. I like Strillman. I like Wise, but I think he will be a lot higher owned. Strillman maybe go under the radar. He's not a bomber, but he's 59th in driving distance. Then if I take him out, he's one of the best in stats. If I take driving distance out, but he's second in good approach, 7th in opportunities at 18 feet, 23rd in ball striking, 26th in birdie or better, 18th at Valero. He missed cut at RBC. He'll probably be lower owned in this range. So I kind of like Strillman this week. I think he could come out here and do all right. Munoz is a guy that where he's squeezed at and the price, I really like him because I just don't see many people going, man, give me some Munoz at $9,800. They probably pay $100. A lot more people will pay $100 up for Woodland or drop down to Wise and save $300. Or even what's Tringali, because I know he's going to probably be popular as well. I like him, but he's $9,700. He's in between Tringali and Woodland, so I could see Munoz being one of the could be lower owned here. And at $9,800, again, he's 10th in good approach, 3rd in opportunities inside 18 feet, 7th in ball striking, 7th in birdie or better. Struggles on par 5 DK scoring, but there's only 3 par 5s there. He struggles at putting sometimes. And so he ranks 101st in the field for the data I pulled. But I think putting's more neutralized this week. I'll be downgrading it a hair than I normally do. And obviously course fit I'll downgrade because that's just a accumulation of a bunch of courses I feel are close to it, but that didn't always work out either. So really heavy on pure statistics, recent form, and then eyes, like what I've seen and what I do. Bubble Boy for me is Champ. I liked him when I initially did my stuff on Sunday that you guys normally do Sunday night. Did not at all picture him being $9,400, which I was actually kind of happy about because I don't know how many people will go there. If he'd have been $8,300 or something like that, a lot more chalky, especially with the bomber talk, and especially coming off the performance at the Masters. Now, I downgrade the performance at the Masters because I talked about this leading into the Masters. He's done that every year for 3 years straight. He's had horrible form going into the Masters, done well there. This is a different environment, though. So, yeah, you can bomb it. Iron's okay. He's mid-pack. He's a little bit better mid-pack. 40-ish range on everything out. 38 birdie or better. 43rd par 5 DK. I'll play him as long as I get him at lower ownership. But that's why he's the Bubble Boy. If he's still going to be talked up because of the bomber deal, and a little bit people look at, he got 10th at the Masters, then I probably move off of him, but that's why he's the Bubble Boy. We will see how that plays out. 8K range, I'm going to start with CT Pan. Probably longer than you think. 38 in driving distance, 3rd, good approach, and then above average with his irons and ball striking, and then just dead average with birdie or better par 5 DK scoring. Coming in with okay form, 42nd at RBC, 42nd at Valero, $8,100. I think he'll be a good leverage play down there if you need to get into the AK range. Lanto is my next up. I think he could be popular. $8,300. I like the kind of game he's coming in with. 53rd at the Valero, was hot there for a little while, fell off. He did miss cut at RPC. 37th in driving distance, 24th in good approach, 16th in ball striking. If he gets popular, I'd probably move him down to the Bubble Boy area, but we'll get to the Bubble Boy in a second. Outside of that, I think I'll play him. He's across the board. He's not great in anything, but he's not horrible. He's in the spot he's at, I think. So in my mind, I go, a lot of guys in the 8s probably will be less. I don't know if anybody gets to over 15%, because I think whether you go ROM, some 9K guys, maybe you're one of the few that take Finau and this guy, or you do 2 9K guys. I think the 8s, I think a lot of people drop down to the 7s and sprinkle in the 6s, and we've seen this build before. And so maybe he doesn't get as high on as we want him to be. Well, not that we want to be, but if he does seem to steam up, he's a guy I can move off of, and by tomorrow night when I do or tomorrow afternoon or whatever, he's a guy I can say, hey, I'll take him under 10% or whatever. But if he's flirting closer, everybody's going to be on him 18%, that kind of stuff. Different opinion for me. Degali, I do like him. I'm still not sure he had a little run there. Kind of came down for a second, kind of disappeared. Come back a little bit, 22nd at Corrales, 67th at Valero, 70th at RBC. So 3 straight made cuts. Stat wise, he's 42nd in the field, recent form 32nd, 5th in course fit. So I do like that in what I'm comparing there. Average on the putting deal, 8,800. I'm not sure how many people click him at that price. So that's why I like him this week. $100 cheaper than Doug Gim, which we know can be a DFS darling at times. Drop off that. It's a great pivot from Gim this week at $8,800. And my bubble boy this week is Ortiz. Simply because I don't know how high owned or the talk of the Mexico factor and all that kind of stuff. Outside of that, I like him this week. 13th in driving distance, 15th in opportunities inside 18 feet, 33rd in ball striking, 38th in the putting model for me, 38th in course fit, just all around solid. And he's got the upside to win, in my opinion. Is there pressure? I don't know, maybe, but I could see the narrative street there and he'd get a little bump. But again, I just don't think the 8K range gets stupid high owned by any person. And so probably play him, but him and Griffin are the one to keep an eye on ownership as we get to tomorrow night. 7K range, I'm gonna go to Chappell. We've been riding him for a while. Played pretty good last week in the team deal. Had him there. 6th in driving distance. I think that's probably not people realize that. 7th in par 5 DK scoring, 33rd in birdie or better, 18th at Valero, 15th at Corrales. Really playing well since he seems to be over this injury now. I do like him. $7,400. We'll see. I don't think 7K range, there will be some popularity because it'll be peppered, but with 35 guys, I think everything kind of gets flipped around. Again, super early Tuesday morning, so we'll see on that. I like Bramlett, $7,100. He could get a little popular, but because of the bomber factor. So kind of like a cheap down Cam Champ deal. Number 1 in driving distance, 22nd good approach, 19th in opportunities inside 18 feet, 12th in ball striking, 23rd in birdie or better, 3rd in par 5 DK scoring. It's all putting with him. And so if I'm neutralizing putting a little bit this week, he's a guy that I mark as, yeah, could be popular, but it'll have to be real stupid for me to just move off him because I like everything about him this week so much that probably makes the pool, unless he just gets like everybody's talking about Bramlett or something like that. I don't see that happening. If he's 10, 12, 14%, that's fine for me this week. And then Smotherman, I like him this week, $7,800. He kind of gets talked about here or there, but he's coming in okay form, nothing crazy. Missed cut at Corrales, so a negative there. Stat wise, though, he looks really good. Limited, but he's starting to get a lot more rounds where this does matter. 30th in driving distance, 21st good approach, 26 opportunities at 18 feet, 2nd ball striking, 41st birdie or better, 19th par 5 DK scoring. He struggles with the putters at times, so outside of that, I do like him, and that's kind of, so again, this is where I get back to, his driving distance is okay, 30, but he's got solid stats and the other stuff I like too. So I'm not going to take a guy, let me find one that I don't know if I take, a guy that I think could get talked up some. I don't know if I get there or not, but Wyndham Clark, 8th in driving distance, right? 114th in opportunities inside 18 feet, 117th in birdie or better in the field. Like, that's a guy I go, all right, well, yeah, he can bomb it, but do I want to get there, especially if he has any kind of talk in there? Don't know yet. I'm not ruling him out, but I just don't take that one. I don't think I'd ever take 1 or 2 stats and say I'm going all in on that guy just because of that. And then Patrick Rogers, and he's the bubble boy because he never does me right. Anytime I play him, it's just he'll miss the cut by 1 or on the number. Always. I don't play him. He's up there. He's making a charge. I like everything I see about him. We know he can get hot with the putter at times. He's average overall, but he can get fired up. Stats, decent. 28th birdie or better, 5th in driving distance, 43rd good approach. So $7,600. I don't think he'll be talked up too much. I like him. I just got to decide on do I bite the bullet there. And if I do, it probably means you guys can fade him. If I decide not to play him, you guys can play him as we get to the final thoughts and everything next or tomorrow. 6K range. Garrigus, our first guy that looks to be trying to go over to the LIV tour, whatever it's Saudi deal. Played good last week in the team deal. 36 at Corrales. He kind of surprised me when he popped up on the old model deal. 15th in driving distance, 9th in opportunities as 18 feet, 5th in birdie or strokes gained ball striking, and then 2nd in par 5 DK scoring. all things I like enough. Good finish at the Corrales. Played well last week. For that price, 60, I don't know how much I did down in the 6,000s this week, but I do like him at 6,600. Molinex, 6,800. There's a guy that I do like. He is a bomber at 4th in distance, but 29th in opportunities inside 18 feet, 25th in ball striking, 13th in par 5 DK scoring. So there's other meats to that bone that I like. 7th in course fit for me. Doesn't putt any well, but again, downgrading putting a little bit on this Paspalum, so don't mind that. Vincent Whaley, he gets talked about at times. He kind of peaks and valleys, so I don't know where he's going to be at this week. We'll see. Chalky one, I don't want to be on him, but there won't be any chalk in the 6K range. They'll be spread out for sure. No one will be over 10%, but if he's one of the highest, coming in good form, I think that could boast him a little bit. 28th at Corrales, 29th at Valero. I can't remember how he did in the team last week. He may have missed the cut, but first in par 5 DK scoring, 45th in birdie or better, 31st in driving distance. Enough there at that price that, he's on my radar. Vaughn Taylor was another one. I got him as the bubble boy right now. He's a guy that's the opposite. Like outside of driving distance, he rates out pretty good. 25th at Corrales, 12th in the putting model for me, 25th in recent form, 27th ball striking, 23rd par 5 DK scoring. So a lot of positive things there. 126 in driving distance. So I think in any other week, or if the narrative wasn't there, he may be high owned. I don't think he gets there this week because he's not going to, if people are heavily weighing driving distance, I don't think he'll show up. So I don't mind Vaughn Taylor, $6,900, but he is a bubble boy. We'll see how that looks on ownership ways. Big question of the week, fade of the week. All right, so here it is. It's Rahm with the asterisk. My strategy would I think I will not have him at all, period. I'll finalize all that tomorrow, and you guys will know that, or at least the premium members will. But I would probably be more apt to play him in the large fill MMEs and almost lock him. So if you're a big MME player and you're going to go, you might as well, because if you're playing him, you're expecting him to at least probably top 5. We saw last week, several of the contests, the top price guy again didn't win it. Cantley and PC was not. PC and X were not in some of the winning lineups because of the way everything else shook out. Burns, Billy Ho did well. Some cheaper pieces made up where the balance. They just weren't in some of the winning lineups. That could happen this week where Rahm wins it and isn't in the winning lineups because if everything else goes to shit and the natural builds that come with that could happen. That's why I think MME, if you can get as many combinations, a tighter core type deal, get way overweight, at least 70%. But if you're going that high, maybe I don't know if I've ever locked anybody MME. I've locked DJ in 3Max stuff and before, and it was actually in Mexico at the WGC and cleaned house that week. But DJ was he's gonna be sub. It was where the DJ rule came, sub 15% type deal. This isn't the case here. Rahm, similar to a Rory type, but even more so, had a strong finish paired with Tiger on Sunday, makes that 27 look a little better than where he really was going into Sunday, which was way down there. Again, look where Tiger finished, and Tiger, but he finished strong, so it is what it is. Before that, not super great. He rates out He rates out number one. He's going to rate out number one in most models. So that's not it. And if I'm being fair to what I've talked about this whole time, if he's going to be if I'm going to downgrade the putting deal, that's kind of been where he struggled. Now, the one thing I do worry about is that he's openly talked about putting contest type deal. So if we start thinking this thing could get 20, 22 under, I think that hurts his potential for whatever reason. Maybe it's a mentality thing. I don't know. As opposed to if you think, I think this place may play hard, maybe it's 13, 14, 15 under. I just think that matters to him. He was a guy who won a U.S. Open. So 1 to 3 max, I don't know if I would get there no matter what, because it's such a week where in those deals or your very maybe higher dollar deals where even if it's not a 3 max, there's not that many people that put more than X amount of lineups in. If that field in that contest is going to be 35, 40, 45%, again, I'm talking about the 3 max, 1 to 3 max fields now, you have such a leverage to fade him this week. And you don't need as many things to go right to still be up there in that 3 max type stuff, right? You're not going up against guys that'll put 150 lineups and all that kind of stuff. Whereas MME wise, if I decide to play him, I would probably just get way over. I'd almost lock him and just say I'll build a tight core with these guys and hope if he wins or is way up there, top 5, top 3, I have the right enough pieces around it to get the combination I need. If you believe that much in him this week, that's kind of where I'm at on him. So that's why the fade asterisk mark. I'll follow more up on that tomorrow as we kind of get the feel of the industry. I can't imagine most people aren't going to be on him, but we'll see. Sleeper of the week for me is Nimmer. Guy I've had my eyes on. Played him a few times, talked about him a few times, especially with the premium members. Another Clemson guy with Redmond, 4-time first team All-American. $6,300. He does bomb it, but it's kind of like a comma pause deal here again. He does bomb it, but I like his game. He's second in opportunities inside. Now, limited stats for sure. Second in opportunities inside 18 feet. Finished 11th at Corrales, 14th in ball striking, 49th in birdie or better. So he can hit it. Cheap price. Did good at Corrales. Pedigree is there. So I remember last year we're talking about Alex Smalley and these kind of guys. 2 years ago, I was starting to talk about Willie Z. Same type of pedigree for me. I think Nimmer can be there. He's $6,300. He's my sleeper of the week right now. Gut feel plays. I like Stalling, 7,700. He's kind of creeping up in some ownership these last few events. He's 14th in my model, though. 13th at Valero. 13th in good approach. 30th in birdie or better. 5th in putting. He can putt well. He can get hot. So I definitely like that, especially if we think it's going to be a scoring event. Piercy, 7,200. I like that. Poston, 7,500. I like him. Lebiota, 6,700. I think he can score, get up there in an event. And then a close one was Perez, mainly because we know he loves some past Palom and these kind of courses. So we'll see how he's looking at ownership and stuff tomorrow, but he could possibly be on my list as well. Top 5 that pop in 2 long shots, as I mentioned, provided by Prize Picks. We continue to make money over there in all the sports we talk about, especially in the GC Slack Warrior Room. We have a Prize Pick channel. Saw some NASCAR stuff posted Sunday. I hopped on it, made a little profit there. We'll have golf back this week. I'll definitely have picks out for that. The link is in the description. Dollar for dollar match up to $100. Use GUP, G-U-P for that. We will have all kinds of plays, NASCAR, UFC, football for sure when it comes around, golf this week. Top 5 for me, Munoz, 33. And these shift some. I'll have my first card out a little bit later on today, maybe tonight, and then final out tomorrow. Stroman, 40. CT Pan, 66. Stallings, 80. Rogers, 80. 2 long shots. I have Chappell at 100. Bramlett at 150. I will have my final 5 one and done on tomorrow's pod as well. I know Kenny Kim is back this week. We talked about that. I'm glad to have him back. I doubt he's wanting to do an E9. We'll roll back in that slow, and not a big tournament as well. We'll try to aim for that to, maybe Wells Fargo next week. We'll see how he's feeling. If not, for sure, PGA Championship week. Don't forget, Smash, 20% off everything, includes a 7-day free trial. I will be back. Obviously, tonight I'll have all my content out for the premium members. Be back tomorrow with the Deep Dive and Final Thoughts podcast. And then we'll get this locked in for Thursday morning lock. Hope you guys have a great, blessed Tuesday. Stay well out there, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.